Spider-Man.
So at this point, most of you guys know that the Acolyte Season 2 and just the show in general has been canceled. There's so much I want to talk about with this because you guys know my opinion on this show. There were some really fun, good parts, and there were also just a lot of choices made in this show that were kind of confusing. We know this show is so controversial. I'm going to go into why I think this show was canceled and just how sad it is overall, and some other things that are going on with this show that are kind of concerning in other aspects. But guys, before that, I wanted to let you know we just did our first ever live stream on this channel. I ranked all of the Marvel movies. It was an amazing first stream. I'm still working out the kinks, but you guys showed up and it was so much fun. If you guys want to see me stream anything Star Wars related, please let me know down in the comments what I should stream. Also, give me your thoughts down below on what's going on with the Acolyte. I read every single one. I most likely will respond. Now let's get into this. Also, we're on the road to 2,000 subs, so you should definitely subscribe. So the cancellation of Acolyte Season 2 is not surprising. Even before this show came out, a lot of people were wondering how this show is going to do. This is set before The Phantom Menace. It's going to be completely different, and those first 2 episodes, in my opinion, were very solid. I liked the direction it was going. It was when we got to that 3rd episode and the 4th episode and so on and so forth that things started to kind of get unhinged. Story plot lines just didn't make sense. Things didn't feel Star Wars, for lack of a better term, even though we all were kind of praising how this show was doing new things differently. However, there was a very, very vocal part of the Star Wars community that absolutely despised this show. I mean, there are comments on my videos breaking down each episode. Even if I said that I enjoyed a part of an episode, you guys thought I was just a complete shill. Which, look, I'll be honest, it's very hard for me to absolutely hate something. I thought there were some really, really good parts, scenes, choreography, and just characters in the Acolyte. And this was just the first season, and I really don't think that the story is the only reason that this show was canceled. In fact, I don't think it's even the main reason. If we look at a show like House of the Dragon, where each episode is over 60 minutes long, we have about 10 episodes per season, and each one of these episodes costs less than it did to produce an episode of the Acolyte. The Acolyte's budget was roughly $180 million, and each one of these episodes going around 25 million or so, only lasting 20 or so minutes, sometimes a quarter of what a show like House of the Dragon would do with their episodes. So this show was extremely, extremely expensive for Disney to produce and make and show. And this is honestly why I believe it's canceled. This is the main reason that I think they're not going to continue doing this show. It's just too expensive for the lack of fan interaction, fan viewership, and just, you know, likability. We wanted to hit a slam dunk with this show, introducing the High Republic into the greater Star Wars universe in terms of films and TV, but it just didn't hit like they wanted. An outrageously expensive show that had episodes less than 30 minutes after credits, along with taking big swings that unfortunately didn't work out for a majority of people. And on the other hand, I have to let you guys know, it saddens me that we're not getting a season 2. Of course, we've had plenty different Star Wars shows and shows in general in the past that have had a rocky start with their first season, only to grow and develop their characters, their storylines to make one of the greatest shows of all time. However, there is a big difference. That being the dollar amount that it costs to make those shows versus what it costs to make the Acolyte. With this financial backing, this show had to be a slam dunk, and it just wasn't. In terms of storylines, I mean, they definitely didn't finish the story they wanted to tell. I mean, we get Darth Plagueis in the finale. We get the setup of May and Osha kind of switching sides. Some really interesting points. We have Yoda pop up. But unfortunately, it looks like we are not going to get any sort of continuation of this storyline, at least in live action. It's so strange because just a couple weeks ago at D23, we had all of this stuff announced for spin-offs for the Acolyte in terms of novels, books, comics. It seems like tons of merchandise and other spin-off projects from the Acolyte were in works and in production, but people were also confused about that because of the reception to the show itself. Which in recent days, there's been a development where all of the Acolyte merch from Disney stores has been removed completely. Now, while some of the merchandise has made its way back on these online Disney stores, it makes fans really worried because this is something very similar to what we saw with Willow. Willow was released on Disney Plus and then removed as a tax write-off because of extreme low viewership. It's crazy because this is just all digital media that's now lost forever because there's no physical media, which is a whole nother topic for another day because physical media reigns supreme always. But could you imagine if they just ripped this show from Star Wars canon? Imagine they remove it from Disney Plus as if it never happened. I don't think that's the right move. Whether you like the show, whether you hate hate the show, I don't think removing it and preventing fans who actually liked it from watching it is a good idea. However, you also have to realize Disney's a company. They're a business. They have to make business decisions, and this might be the move for them. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm no expert on the matter. I'm just letting you guys know what's seeming to be going on. We know we're not getting Acolyte Season 2. We know that they've removed a lot of merch from the internet that you can't even buy Acolyte stuff. So yeah, a lot of fans are worried that they're going to remove the show as well. Overall, I do think this is just a learning experience. We saw what worked with this show. We saw what didn't work with this show. We saw how much it cost and why in the world did it cost so much. Again, I don't think this is a very surprising development. I think the people that like this show are very upset that this show is not going to continue, and the people who really don't like this show are happy about it being canceled. But who knows what's truly going on. My heartfelt apologies to all of the people involved with this show and the actors in particular, because they did some great performances, and they actually announced the cancellation of this show on the actor of Kymir's birthday. He's also going to Star Wars Celebration, so this is just a little awkward, and I thought he was the best part of the show. I would love a show just about him. Again, leave your comments down below with what you guys think about the Acolyte being canceled. Are you happy about this? Are you ready for Lucasfilm and Star Wars to focus on more, I guess, fan recognizable stories staying within the Skywalker era? Or are you just really disappointed that this show is not going to continue and we're not going to get the character development and the character cementation that will allow these characters from this show to become iconic over time? Because remember, the prequels were hated when they first came out, and now look at them. Please give me your thoughts. I read every single one. I most likely will respond. Please join us on the road to 2,000 subs, and I will see you all very, very soon.